Quite looking forward to that.
How good? How good on the bloody scale do you think it is?
Bloody good is bloody 10 out of 10 for me. I'm a James Gunn fan, always have been.
10 out of 10 is strong. 10 out of 10 is strong.
It is strong. Superman we're talking about. Everyone
He didn't do much. He was injured and he called his dog.
Did you only get a teaser trailer? Because there's more in it.
Is there? Oh, I've only seen the bit where he's injured and he calls his dog. His dog
no. There's more. There's more. Yeah.
God damn it, Bob! We didn't watch the whole thing. Honestly.
Yeah, it's the full trailer. It's the full trailer. It's the first trailer.
God damn it, Bob.
Yeah, it's just like
you saw the bit where his dog came. He goes, he calls his dog and his dog comes.
Yeah, it's more. It's more. Yeah, there's more in it.
Is there more Superman?
Yeah, more Superman, more Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, Hawkman.
Saw them, but that was the only thing. That was the only thing Superman did, though, wasn't it?
No. He in the trailer he saved a little girl from being crushed by a truck crashing. Yeah, you've missed the whole thing.
To be honest, Pete, I kind of think like I could be Superman, like couldn't I really? I mean,
yeah, you'll be this.
I've got the body.
You'll be the monkey-lizard, Willie of Steel.
Why has everyone got to have a penis with you?
Well,
why have you gone there? I was like being serious. I was like, I've got the body, I've got the looks. You know,
have you?
You know,
the body. I don't know.
What do you mean have I? What do you mean have I? It's well known.
So yeah.
I mean, look at me. Look at me, B. Look at me. No, look at me. See? Got it all.
Bit spindly, you think? Spindly and, you know.
Yeah, but it's because I'm not pumped up with my powers yet.
What?
I'm not pumped up with my powers. I have to run through a telephone box with my suit on.
I thought you, God, for a minute there, I thought you said pumped up with your gout.
Gout?
Yes. Yeah.
What's gout got to do with Superman?
I don't know. I thought you said gout, not powers.
Gout? Why? Yeah. Pete, what's I'm talking about me being Superman? You bring your Widdies and gout into it.
You could have gout.
Not totally sure Superman.
Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining the
gout
could be like me. Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining the could be like me. There's only one Salacious Rum, and he's the only one. He's the only one. He's truly lonely. He's truly lonely. Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining could be like
Oh God. G'day everyone. G'day and welcome to the Two Pommies. The only show where you get 2.5 stars for the price of 1. Although 2 of us are not very well today, so you have to bear with us as we scramble through the show, and hopefully we make some sense. Yeah, some of you, a couple of you are sick in the head, I reckon. To be honest.
Yeah. Right.
Starring from England, leader.
Talking about me.
The monkey. Who? Who?
No. I mean, yeah, you missed that joke. You missed that joke. Right. Continue.
You're definitely sick in the head. I know. Right. What?
Continue. Continue, sick lizard and pop.
No, you're a bloody servant. What are you? What are you pointing at? Starring from England, the leader of the monkeys. Oh, for God's sake! Here's Pete. And this is his YouTube channel. Go and sub if you want. If you don't want to, never mind.
Don't bother. I've got nothing on there.
It's there. But I am looking for. By the way, if you're wondering what a pommy is, it's a derogatory word. It's a word. People use it. So there you go. If you want to know what it means, you can read it. It's there.
Yeah, we've been saying it for months. We've been saying.
Right, but genuinely, I am looking forward to talking tonight about a film known as The Mortal Engines, which Pete also happened to be in. So we're going to have a talk about the film, and we're also going to talk about Pete's experiences on said film. Before we do that, we'll briefly welcome in the army. See who's with us.
Briefly. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but we're doing it briefly this time. Yeah, is it?
I'm muting myself in and out because I'm coughing.
All right.
Why don't you do something for a minute while I cough?
All right. Okay. So briefly. Anyway, yes. This is the last. This is the last show. Well, the last show of this year, and this is the last movie that I've been in internationally. Mortal Engines. So while Bob is dying over there, this will be a good watch. We
have Bazza with us, who's also streaming later on tonight, so go and check out his channel later. Gerard is with us. Good to see you, Gerard. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, mate. Hi, mate.
Oh,
good to see you.
Good lad. The Emperor is here.
Yeah, Palps.
General Jumpy has joined us as well.
I've got to say, Palps, g'day, Jumpy. I've got to say, Palps, that dog you showed, Pop's dog you showed of your puppy, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Fantastic.
He's got a couple of pops, his old Palps. Yeah. Right, should we get into the mood for some Mortal Engines?
Yes.
How do you fancy that to get us going?
Yeah, we should before you die.
Yeah. So this is 2018. Actually, I didn't do know a little bit more about this film because it did get a bit of traction over here. I think people refer to them as young adult novels, so it's not one that I read, but it did get some attention in the early 2000s. I think it won a couple of prizes: the Nestle Smarties Book Prize and the Blue Peter Award in 2003. Do you guys have Blue Peter in New Zealand?
No, we didn't. I mean,
it's like a kids.
Yeah.
Are you aware of Blue Peter?
Yeah. But we didn't. That didn't really. I mean, the only British that came here was really your disgusting perverted rainbow.
With Zippy and George,
Zippy.
Zippy and Bungle. But Mortal Engines, I think it's a really interesting premise. And it's out of, it does, although it's early 2000s when it came out, it's definitely out of the kind of British sci-fi. It's sort of one of those classical British sci-fi.
Really.
Yeah, very much steampunk, very much post-apocalyptic. So it's straight out of it has got a bit of a British feel to it. The basic premise is that there was a 60-minute war which wiped out basically much of humanity, and in the first of the stories, some of the cities are battling it out. They've the wars caused continental shift. There's like a European land bridge now, and some of the cities of Europe are fighting it out. Much of America's been destroyed, and the cities have been raised out of the ground, and they're now scavenging the plains and duking it out. It's quite an interesting idea. So let's watch the trailer. It was. I think there was a bit of a hoo-ha to get the rights to this. Peter Jackson bought the rights in the end. Yeah. All right. Oh, what am I doing here?
What are you doing?
All right, let's show this. This trailer just started auto playing. What am I doing? Add to stage. And that ad.
Ooh.
All right, stop.
What's going on?
Stop.
What's going on?
Auto playing.
Playing? No, stop playing.
Is it playing?
No. No. Nope. Zilch. Zippo. Nothing's happening. Nothing happening, Mum. Hello? Hello? Oop. Hello? It's just me. Well, that's yeah, okay, that's hello. How are you going? Technical issues maybe? Rum dying? Yes, let's see what's going on in the chat. Where'd you go? Where did you go?
I don't know. Bloody internet's playing up. All right, let's try again. Honest to God, nothing's working today. I'm not working. The internet's not working. The computer's not working. My brain's not functioning.
Nothing's working. Right.
Nothing's working. Right, here we go. Let's try this again.
Gremlins in the internet. Right. Yeah.
This might be one step too much for my computer.
Here we go. Let's see if this works.
Right.
Okay. It's doing something.
I was 8 years old when my mother died.
Can you hear it?
Yep, I can hear it.
She loved to travel the world and digging
Bit laggy.
up the path. He used to visit all the time.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yep. No, I can't hear it.
Okay. Let's try again. All right.
Well, there's a trailer.
Yeah. So I actually rewatched this. Today. I remember watching it the first time and being a little bit underwhelmed. I think it was better the second time round, but it's definitely a flawed film, for sure.
Yeah.
and I think I think there was a bit of disappointment with the execution of it, but yeah, Peter Jackson bought the rights, and it's directed. I can't remember the director's name, but he was
James Christensen. James Christensen. Yeah.
And he worked on King Kong, I believe, didn't he, Pete?
Yeah, he was Peter Jackson's protege.
Okay.
He worked on King Kong and probably a lot more others to actually build him up himself up on the ranks of director. So he came up much like off the back heels of Dave Filoni to George Lucas kind of thing. So
very good. Now there was a little bit of buzz about this movie over here, but I didn't have a huge campaign. But obviously, people over here were aware of the book. What about in New Zealand? Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, not much of a hype over here, as well. I think to be fair, it wasn't coming from Peter Jackson directing, right? Because he fell in. G'day, Nick. He fell in because he was going to do more producing, not directing anymore. So he was going to take a bet on his protege becoming a directorial debut, and James Christensen to take the reins. I think there was a little bit of disappointment in that. To be fair, because we all know what Peter Jackson's track record was to doing these films, and he wanted to not direct so much, but go into the producing side of things more. So yeah.
This is one hell of a big story to take on if it was his first directing debut. The look of it, it's definitely got a steampunk vibe. But the thing that struck me about it a little bit, and I think this is something that is quite common with modern movies. Seeing London, a mobile London, was quite cool, definitely, especially as a Brit. And it is massive, like it is huge. I'm not totally sure they delivered. I'm not totally sure that a lot of modern movies capture scale very well. Gareth Edwards is one of the few that does it very well. He did it on Rogue One and also in his Godzilla movie. And I think it's there's this fascination with quick edits and camera changes, whereas like on some of the older movies, like in Star Trek, for example, the camera would slowly pan across the bow of the ship, and you'd really get a sense that it was massive, and you'd get and they didn't quite do that. I don't think they could have done that better. I think on this.
I gather that the decisions in the editing room were upon James Christensen's decisions, mainly other than Peter Jackson's decisions, because he was a director, right? So the decisions, if you go into the editing room, are fully on the directors to take the cuts that they like. Maybe the decisions on the cuts that they took were wrong in a sense.
The other fundamental problem I had with the film was I didn't really care much for the characters. There's some good characters, and it's a really good story, but I just didn't feel. I didn't feel bad for them. I didn't really feel like the. I didn't get much feeling for them. Like the main girl, she was okay. She had quite a good backstory, but they didn't really play much with it. I thought the best characters were Hugo. Hugo's character Hugo was quite good.
Yeah, you're right.
The lead actor as well. The lead actor Pete was a bit weak.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to kind of elaborate on that because it's just like comparing apples to oranges. I'm afraid for directors directing. Well, I was on set with James Christensen at one point. And and his directing style is a style of him taking the mic, right, and directing from behind the camera, right, and coming out when he has to direct actors. He got into a little bit of heated argument with Hugo Weaving at one point, and then I was on set again for the next day or two, I think, and Peter Jackson was directing that day because James Christensen was on location with another set of actors. And how Peter Jackson directs, it's more hands-on, right? It's him stepping away from the camera with it. He doesn't do directing with a microphone behind the camera, and he doesn't demand as much as a director would. He works with the actors and the crew, so there's more experience there, of course, with Peter Jackson than there was with James Christensen. But I think you've got to have, for doing this kind of thing, you've got to have empathy for the character, sympathy for the character, and work with the character and the crew without going behind the camera and shouting at stuff, right, or directing things with a microphone behind a camera, if you get what I mean. You know what I mean? So that's why some of the actors that you didn't really see or get along with is because their acting was a little bit cardboard in such a way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the casting. I don't think the casting was great.
No, it wasn't.
So
no.
For example, Pete, like the first part of the movie deals with what it's like being on the City of London. So you're introduced to Hugo's daughter, and then people in the museum, and there's a whole thing in the book about even though this is way into the future, there are 4 classes of people. You know, there's the underclass, there's engineers, there's and you get a little bit of that. And actually, there is some cool stuff there where they're showing, for example, the London Eye is now like part of the underground system, and so there is some cool stuff within the city, but the characters don't really get much time to breathe. But there's some good, and I also thought there were some nice sets. Like I think you, correct me if I'm wrong, and you're in one scene where a couple of the characters escape from the city, and they basically they get on another mobile scavenging unit, and they go to another city. I think it's a smaller town, and they're basically trying to be sold as slaves. And there's a really cool set with some great effects. And the set, and it's and there was a whole load of. I think are you in one of the? I was looking out for you. I think I may have seen you. And tell us about your scene in that set, because that set was really good.
The set was brilliant because it was like a steel moving ship almost on. Right. So that was the exterior, right? It was a moving. Was it a moving?
It collapses in itself. Yeah, the whole thing collapses in, doesn't it? When they're being attacked.
But it's more like a steel kind of prison almost.
That's right.
With rusty kind of walls that made it really, really kind of gritty, dirty, and it was a slave auction, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole kind of thing. It was a slave auction where Mark Hadlow, one of our New Zealand actors, who was the auctioneer, right? And I was in frame. Most of it was because I was in the front of one cage.
Yeah.
With long hair. And I kind of enjoyed that scene because we're all slaves being auctioned off.
To be eaten, I believe. I think there's some cannibalism. So you're going to be salami, I think they said. They're gonna
Yeah, but the
slice
thing
you.
is, the funny thing is, sorry, I interrupted, but the thing is that we were there for all day, and we got swapped around, right? So when we did the slave thing and escaping the cages and stuff like that, most of us swapped our costumes around, and we became slave buyers. Right?
Ah,
So I was in the cages, and also I was in the crowd as a slave buyer um,
oh,
with other extras as well. So that was quite cool. So when you see the actress come up with her glasses, right, you
yeah.
can see all of us who were slaves. We're slave buyers now, so different costumes. So that was quite cool.
Yeah, and she didn't
And
really. So she's like they didn't really explain her character much.
no, they didn't.
So she's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
she's like a Chinese like assassin or something,
Mhm.
or and she looks totally out of place, like she's not in the movie because everything's
Yeah.
dirty and she is like pristine. She's got like a
Yeah.
modern haircut. And she looks like she's out of the Matrix or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. To be quite honest with you, I'm not. I got to say, I can't really say anything. I'm not that very much of a good actor, and once I saw, I don't want to go into it, but once I saw Acolyte, I'm going, well, they can't act for crap, right? But when you look at Mortal Engines, right, some actors to me can sound really or portray their characters as cardboard, and she was a little bit cardboard to me. Yeah, like you said, her character wasn't explained at all.
no.
So, and sometimes the actress who was playing the main part wasn't her character was not well received. Um,
No, she was a strange character. Although the city in the clouds was quite interesting. Like
mm,
that was quite. But again, they didn't really explain that too much. There was
mm,
some really interesting steampunk aerial ships and zeppelins and things like
mm,
that, but they didn't really go into too much of how that came about. And presumably they're trying to escape from the cities on the ground.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They didn't really go into that too much, and they didn't really explain why she was. Well, I believe like Asia in the grand story, they still have static cities, and there's a great wall that's been created to protect them from the engine cities of Europe, basically. And so I think she's an assassin from one of the Asian cities, basically. I think that's the premise.
I
And she's
will
trying to
admit that,
kill
yeah,
the leader of
uh,
London, but
yeah.
they don't really go into it.
Hugo Weaving's character was great. He's always good in parts, but
He
uh,
was good.
uh,
I think he was
uh,
the standout. Him and the other person, the other one that was good, Pete, was and they didn't really go into this story too much, but the resurgent man that kind of looks like Terminator. He's got a
yeah,
cyborg
yeah,
body, and and
yeah.
he is the guy out of Avatar, isn't he? He's played by the guy that plays the lead marine in Avatar. What's his
All
name?
right. Was
Steven.
he? Okay. Was that
Yeah,
oh yeah, he
Gale,
was
or I can't remember what his name is.
yeah, he's a good actor actually, so they must have got him back from
The
James
guy,
Cameron.
yeah, the guy with the scar, from
Yeah,
Avatar.
who was actually in Avatar second one actually. They brought him back
Yeah,
for the second one.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I didn't realize that. I thought it was Andy Serkis for one point.
Well, I might be wrong.
Um, you might be right because I don't know. He's,
But he's
um,
quite he's that was quite an intriguing character. And again, there was a bit of a connection there. Like you find out that this like cyborg thing brought up the girl, but the
yeah,
emotional payback on that didn't quite work.
yeah. I guess for this film to actually say more about it was that they had a hard time because they wanted to do the whole book series, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, Pete.
Okay.
And Peter Jackson got on an ad, or not an ad, but he was trying to actually promote it. So look, go and see the film. Go and promote. Go in and go to the theater and go and watch this. Not just once, but countless times. Not really pleading as to say because they were having trouble to actually get people bums on seats in the theaters for this film. But it was a very hard push to actually get people to see this film. Because I think that the fans of this book, I think people are a little bit disappointed in how it was perceived, or which is a bit of a shame. Gary Ricardo. So yeah, Peter was trying to actually drum up promoting this film.
Yeah, and it fell flat a bit, didn't it? It fell flat a bit, didn't it, Pete? Really?
Yeah.
So when did you? So how early on did you find out about the film, and when did you find out that you were going to get a part?
Well, there was inklings of this film that I think hardly anybody knew of. Extras anyway. It speaks for myself. I didn't know anything about Mortal Engines at all, but I got because I changed from Possum Talent to Tracy Jackson, who heads an Auckland acting agency called Heroes and Villains, because I jumped ship from my old one to Heroes and Villains because I wasn't. I wanted more work, right? And I guess the opportunity was there, and it was there because I found out that it wasn't just one day. I should correct that. It wasn't just one day. It was 5 days. I got 5 days work from that film. So,
that's good.
and that was pretty good money for 5 days work, and coming to the set and just I think because the first few days that we were shooting was like slaves, and the next few days we were shooting as slave buyers. So that was awesome. I thought that was really awesome to do that. So because I've only worked one day or one day into the next day, right? So that's usually just one full day. Can I, Mr. B? And so having 5 days work was like, freaking, this is awesome, right?
That was a good scene. That was a good scene. That was a good scene. The whole slave thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember it, but
I do actually, because there's this funny little story that I'm going to share with you. First off, I will say this. I was going to show everybody my 5-minute stand-up routine, which I did for my graduation, but I'm going to leave that. Sadly, I'm going to leave that until we have the thank you stream coming up in January, because the video is still being worked on. So I think it'll be actually quite better for the thank you stream, because I'll have friends there for the thank you stream, right? And they can actually laugh with you and laugh with me. But there's a bit in the stand-up routine that I take the piss out of myself, saying that, well, when we reversed on the set, when we reversed from slaves to slave buyers, I got this immense chance to actually go and be what they call a was it special extra feature role kind of thing. And if you've seen the movie, you see Mark Hadlow, all right, and there's the cages behind him. Peter Jackson was directing that day, and he was sitting behind the camera, and one of the ADs who was taking care of us all said, "Look, Pete, why you be great here?" And the camera was, let's say the camera was here, I was in front of the camera, right? So, and I thought, well, this is brilliant. I'm gonna get, my face was gonna get, yay, awesome. And it was like, like I was gonna get seen again by friends from Samwise Gamgee's wedding kind of thing, right? But lo and behold, Peter Jackson popped up from the camera and says, "No, sorry, that guy's face is too distracting. Can we get someone else whose face is not too distracting?"
Did you do a weird face again, Pete?
Yeah,
Do you
because
feel
it
a weird
was.
face again?
It was. I mean, it was just like, this the actress who came up and and killed Mark Hadlow's character, right, in that scene, right, and
what did you do? What did you do?
Well, I could not complain whatsoever, right? Because you don't do that. You don't kick up a fuss, right? You don't do anything like that. Or
Yeah, but what face did you pull, Pete? We want to know. Can you do it for us?
Huh?
What face did you pull?
Oh, I didn't pull any face. I just stuck up my thumb, and because Peter Jackson says, sorry, mate. He said sorry. He said, "Sorry, mate. You've got a lovely face, but it's too distracting." Right. So so I put up my thumb, and it says, "That's all right, mate." So I went back down into the crowd, and they got somebody's face. Another extra's face who wasn't too distracting for the act to come up.
Can I offer a theory? Can I offer a theory?
Probably wrong, but yeah, you can.
I suspect he remembers you on the spit from The Hobbit and the weird face you pulled as you were turning the spit. And he's like, "It's that fucking guy again doing a weird face when he can't have him, can't have it."
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. He remembers you.
Probably. But yeah, it's funny thing is that the weird thing was that I was he came back down because I think he was going to talk to somebody else, and came up with a still camera, and it took shots of my face. I don't know what for. So that's the really weird part. So it's the weird part, you can't really complain. You can't really kind of kick up a fuss. You can't say anything. You have to comply, because I mean, in a sense that I think he was right, because it would these facial features or people's facial features can be distracting, because they'll be looking at me other than the actress. So yeah.
Or he might have been looking, going, "There's my potential future fluffer boy." Did you get a call Did you get a call later from him going?
No, I didn't. No.
I think he was mesmerized. He was mesmerized by a Pete. He was like, "Look, can't have him stealing the show again. I remember him on the spit."
That was probably the main reason he can't. This guy will steal the show. Yeah. So
no one could look at Gandalf before, when he was, Gandalf was doing his fireworks, and there you were turning the spit. It was like, God damn it!
You'll get
McKinnon.
Yeah, you'll get to hear that in the thank you stream on my 5-minute stand up. Yeah, that joke's in there. That joke's in there. So yeah.
Good. Good. Very good. Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah. And you know, are you sure you weren't doing anything weird?
No, it wasn't.
You sure?
No. Yeah. No, I wasn't doing anything weird. You perfect thing. I wasn't doing anything weird. So yeah.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Sure. All right. We believe you. We believe you. Typical Pete. He gets one scene. He gets one scene and he overacts. How can you overact?
Don't start with that. Don't start with
How can you
me.
overact in one scene? You're in a cage. You got one job to do. It's like be a prisoner. You're about to get eaten.
It's my lot in life, isn't it?
Doesn't it, Chip? It sounds very believable.
Thanks, Chip. Yeah.
Chip,
it was.
It,
you know, it's funny. It's good to actually say that in a joke and take the piss out of it because it was funny. So,
I think you're the only person this could happen to, Pete. I don't know anyone else. You know, it's just typical way.
I don't know if you talk to extras who've been shuffled around so many times, which we tend to actually shuffled around to actually place extras on sets. It gets quite kind of because there are actor extras going that, well, why haven't I been seen in a on camera? All right, so there are extras out there going that, well, I've missed out on getting on screen for a short second or so, which is really odd. They should be. I mean, I'm really grateful I got in various movies that have been on screen. That's bloody luck. Not, you know, it's yeah. So
and there is a bit of a Star Wars thing in this film. Can you do you know what I'm talking about? What was that?
No, I can't. No,
there's a blatant Star Wars ripoff in this film, and that's at the end. And it's basically the lead actor who by this point we don't really have a great deal of. Well, I certainly like he's the main character, and I didn't really buy into his character much. He's like a guy from a museum, and I don't know. You don't really learn too much about him. Well, anyway, he flies a ship, and he has to destroy the engine of the city of London by firing a torpedo, and it has to hit. It has to hit. It has to strike the engine precisely in the. You know, so it's a blatant trench run knockoff, and then he flies away, you know, just like Luke does, and then you see the engine blow up like the Death Star.
Right. Okay. So, right. I haven't seen it for ages, so yeah. Okay. Sure.
What's Jumpy say?
Apparently not so long ago, Peter Jackson sold him pictures to Disney as they were making the new Snow White film. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're making any more of these, so I think this was a one and done.
Yeah.
It was a shot in the million. That's exactly it. So this film had a lot of potential. This film had a lot of potential. I think it got like around a 6.1, something like that on IMDb.
It wasn't marketed well enough.
No.
Their draw card was Hugo Weaving, I think.
Yeah. I think they really missed the casting mark. I don't know the lead guy. I don't know what he's from. I think he's an Irish actor. I can't remember his name.
You mean Klaus? Oh.
What have you done?
Testing bloody fire alarms again.
Pete's left his bong sparking again.
God. Just hopefully they'll only test it once. Yes.
The lead actress as well was a little. I think she's Icelandic. I don't know what else she's been in, but she, I don't know, didn't quite hit it. I don't know. She was okay, but nothing.
Which one was that? Was that the blonde one?
You know, the main actress that's
okay.
that was brought up by the
Oh, okay.
cyborg.
Is she Icelandic?
I think she's from Iceland. I can't remember what her name is. Yeah, I think she's Icelandic.
Okay.
So yeah, they're the main. Though her and the guy, they're the main characters, and they just didn't quite have that star power. Maybe he was trying to make new stars like George Lucas did, but
I think I think the guy, the that was Klaus. He's Klaus in Umbrella Academy. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. I don't think he's been in too much more, has he? I don't think he's been in a lot.
No. Yeah, you're right. I think they were kind of trying to make new up and coming actors. And so I think yeah.
Sorry, I tell you who else was in it. Did you watch The Expanse?
Not all of it. Saw some episodes.
The girl, the Martian Marine. I think she might be Kiwi. Is she a Maori Kiwi? She has a small role in it. She's quite good actually. She's very good in The Expanse.
I think that probably came down to James Christensen's casting choice of it, not Peter Jackson's, because that's the whole point. Was James Christensen was supposed to be casting and supposed to be directing and doing the whole kit and caboodle kind of thing. So he left it up to him. But the things that James Christensen couldn't do as a director, that fell upon Peter Jackson to actually take some directing responsibility. So it kind of works like that sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the only standout was probably Hugo Weaving for me in that film. And I really wasn't there. I gotta say, I wasn't that really enthused in watching the film.
Sure.
Because of the marketing, and it was the only scene that I liked was the scene that I was in. Did see some actors that I haven't seen for a decade long be in it, which was really good. Like Peter Rowley. Peter Rowley was in it. He was.
Is he a Kiwi actor? Is he a Kiwi actor?
He was one of the. He captured her, right, and brought her to the slave market. I haven't seen him for years. And there was a couple of other actors who were Kiwi who were in it. Was really, really cool. And Mark Hadlow, of course, because he was a dwarf in The Hobbit. He played the slave auctioneer. It's quite cool to see. So they've, it's like you have an American production, let's say in the UK, right? So they fill it with UK actors, right? Sometimes, so just to flesh out the other minor characters, right? So yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. So yeah.
I feel like it's maybe they tried to cram too much into one film, rather than like develop. Probably could have been a couple of movies, even though it's the first book. And it actually started quite strong. I think it was really interesting finding out what life is like on the city. But you get one city battle where at the start, where the city of London basically takes on a Bavarian mining town, and it just takes it out easily. Would have been good to have maybe seen flesh that out a bit more. Maybe seen London go up against a slightly larger other city. That would have been cool. But yeah, from a UK point of view, it was really interesting seeing, St. Paul's survived, and you see, the London Eye and the London Underground is still kind of going, and you know, and there's still a class system, which is quite interesting. So it definitely had a lot. It definitely
was a City on Wheels or something like that. Right?
Yeah. So it definitely had a lot of.
Yeah, I just don't think. I just don't think. Again, reiterating it, parroting it, it wasn't marketed well to get audiences to go and see it. Unfortunately, so I think it was up against something else as well. To be quite fair, I think
Probably, and I do hear, Pete, from an inside source that the best scene was cut out. The best scene of the film was actually cut out in the editing room. On the instruction of Peter Jackson, because they said that the actors' features were too striking, and it would have created an instant overnight superstar that they weren't actually, you know.
Couldn't be mine. It was in the film.
Okay,
it would be a trifecta, wouldn't it? Really, have another delete the scene that was I was saying. That's the story of my life.
So what do people in the chat think? Has anyone seen this movie? What do people rate the movie? Let us know how many space bananas you rate it out of 10. I think the IMDb rating is probably about right.
What is the IMDb?
It's about a 6 or a 6.5.
Okay.
It's definitely worth a watch. It's definitely got some interesting premises.
Yeah, if you want to escape. Yeah, if you want an escape movie, just for a couple of hours, you know, you've had a crap day and you want to escape, and just go watch it. Yeah.
The main guy, Hugo, it's not really clear why he's so obsessed with he's got a real power trip. They never really established why. And he's hell bent on, you know, getting technology to, you know, getting some of that. Oh, and that's the whole thing with the steampunk thing, by the way, is they're obsessed with old tech. So they're scavenging for old tech, which is quite cool.
I think that's, again, not to really bag on James Christensen's style of directing, but I think it comes down to directing. I think it comes down to the storytelling, and I think he had problems with it because it was such a big project to actually do.
That's right.
I think James Christensen's got his good parts probably, but his directing style, I think, was a little bit different than Peter Jackson's style, because I think that's why Hugo Weaving didn't really get along with James Christensen all that well. He did and he didn't, but Peter Jackson's style of directing is so again, of course, different because it's hands-on, right? So, you know, he talks to the actors without a microphone in his hand, right? Whereas when James Christensen directs, he's behind the camera shouting on a microphone, and that can be quite. If you don't see the director for a sequence of that scene, and you just hear him, it can be quite just a little bit distracting, in a sense. If you get what I mean.
It's definitely a big story to take on for your first directing, your first major feature film. I was reading that him and Peter Jackson are trying to get funding for the next movie that they want to work together on, which is a remake of the Dam Busters. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, it's been in the works for years, though. So,
well, that would be good, but I would probably rather see it in Jackson's hands. But
I think you're not wrong there. I think it would be better if Peter Jackson would take that helm on that film. So, my best bet to go off topic here would be, now that Tintin is going to be public domain,
Cool.
we might see another Tintin movie coming from Peter Jackson this time, because I think the
Didn't
first one was
Spielberg do it? Didn't Spielberg do it?
Spielberg did the first one, I think. Peter Jackson was the producer, so I think they might kind of switch. So so that's my best guess,
Okay,
but I don't know. I think there's another. Of course, you've got produced. The first one's coming up. Really, would be The Hunt for Gollum with Andy Serkis directing and Peter Jackson producing. I guess so. It's quite going back to Mortal Engines. I loved being in the scene that I was in. 5 days work, brilliant, great sets. Great set that I was on, and I just loved it, Bob and Salacious, to be quite being on set, but I just didn't really think the movie had the gravitas to actually, because it was competing with something, or they just didn't market it right, which is a shame. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you were in a cool scene, and it was, and it definitely had a good look, and that set in particular was awesome. And if you rewatch that scene, it's cool the way that that marketplace that you're in collapses down and transforms back up into the mobile unit. So that's quite a cool bit to look out for. Weta certainly did really well on that. So go and check it out. The Mortal Engines, worth a watch. It's free on Amazon, so you can stream it on Amazon Prime at the moment. So definitely worth a watch. And I think I saw Pete. I was looking out for him. I knew what scene he was in, and I'm pretty sure the camera pans across a cage on the right-hand side of the screen, and he's at the front of the cage.
Can't see me in the crowd though. You can't see me in the crowd. I think I'm off camera a wee bit. You might see my eye, but I don't know. It's good for an escape. Sure, if you've got a crap day. It's a shame that the book series didn't get off the ground. Because that's where it was heading. I know that for certain, but So should we leave it there?
We are going to be back.
I actually say a little bit of housekeeping, because this is the last discussion of the Two Pommies from me. I don't know whether Bob you agree with me that this is great, because we're going to continue this with other things in the pipeline with the Two Pommies. It's coming up in January next year. There's going to be a thank you stream with all the friends who supported me on getting the first print, and having a bit of a Christmas party and a New Year's party as well. You could probably put that in there as well, and that's coming up. I want to I'm quite looking forward to that, because my 5-minute stand-up routine is going to be in that show. Guaranteed, because I couldn't get it this week because I think it's still being edited. So I think it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a good fun show. So come along to that and chat and have some fun, have some laughs, have some perversity. That's probably another word, but there's now. And the prints, you can still get the prints as well. We've only got 2 prints available at the moment, so they will be coming. Different movies that have been. Of course, Salacious and Bob have been busy over the work situation this summer, and I'm getting busier in my life. So, and I think because of Bob and Salacious not feeling that well, and plus I'm not, I think I might leave what's coming up for me next year to say what I will be doing next year, and that thank you stream. So yeah, and that's the house.
So come and hang out with us on Thursday, the 12th of January. We're going to do it slightly later at that time, 9 o'clock.
But it's always the 2nd and 3rd January. What are you doing?
What have I done? Have I put the wrong date? Have I put the wrong date on?
You put the wrong date on.
God damn it. It's the 2nd of January.
2nd of January to the 3rd of January.
Hold on.
He's
I'm not very
delusional.
well. I'm really sorry, everyone. I actually have been hallucinating today. I'm supposed to be doing a stream tomorrow night with Kat, and I don't know if I'm going to make it. Hopefully I will, but I'm really not very well. Apologies.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just relax into it, Bob, and you'll be fine. So
relax into it.
Yeah.
That's why I said. That's why I said to my special lady friend last weekend. I was like, look, don't worry.
Relax into it. Yeah, no.
Relax. Just calm. You know, I know you're having second thoughts, but just close your eyes. Just go with it. God. It's Thursday, the 2nd of January in the UK, which is Friday, the 3rd of January in New Zealand, because Pete's in the future.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
I just want to say, this. I'll be saying this the thank you stream as well. That I couldn't with Chip and Bob and Salacious and John bantering me one night, saying that I should be getting prints done, getting motivated. That's why, again, with the friends, that's why the thank you stream is coming out next year, because it's just like I wouldn't have been blow my own trumpet because I haven't got one. Oh, hang on, here we go. Yes, I do. I couldn't have done it without these guys. Sorry. Anyway, that's.
My print is framed and it's on my desk, and they're great. They are. It's an awesome thing. So that's Samwise Gamgee wedding scene now is legendary, and we're actually really looking forward to following your stand-up career, because I know it's going to be good, especially when you've got like insights like Peter Jackson having to stop the movie because you're too distracting.
That joke's in there. So, yeah. There's more jokes about my extra acting career as well. So quite looking forward to that. But all that, again, please come and join us on the thank you stream / Christmas or New Year's get together with friends who supported me. Two Pommies are not going to finish. I've got to say that. We will. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know about Bob or Rum. I love to actually.
We're going to be back. We're going to be back, Pete. We're going to be back.
We're going to be back.
We're like a disease. We're viral.
We're like viral disease. Yeah.
Or
like in your case, venereal.
Like a rash. You can pick at us, but we're just we're always there.
But I love to talk to other people in the community who have been in extras on different projects as well. I think that'd be a great idea as well. So anyway, that's my. Anyway, I'll let this guy go because he's full of flu. Hello.
Hello, Stephanie. Yeah, we've got to go now. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please smash the like button, leave us a friendly comment, and subscribe to the channel. Pete's got a channel as well, if you can be bothered.
Yeah, there's nothing on there. There's actually no promo for this.
We noticed. Yeah, it's all right.
Because I got so busy. I'm going to leave you with this. I went to the end of year stand-up comedian fringe in Wellington here. So, and I came down with a bad case of bad indigestion. I can't eat McDonald's ever again because just.
Did you burp on stage?
No, I wasn't on stage, so
you were in the crowd. You were burping and farting.
Yeah, I know. I came home and bought McDonald's, and I was late at night, and I can't eat McDonald's anymore because the salt sat right here.
Oh.
And it was like painful. It's like the old man kind of getting up 10 times a day to go pee, right? So
did you do a poo?
No, I was coughing and spluttering, and old age kind of creeps in with. I get really bad indigestion, but enough of my problems. That was boring. How was that boring?
I did a big poo earlier.
Bigger than you.
It was quite big. It was one of them. It was one of them torpedoes that just went gadung.
And on that bombshell.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from her.
Tell us about your poo stories in the chat. We like talking about indigestion and toilet talk.
Yeah. Tell us about your beige poos. Yes.
Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining the idea you could be like me. Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining the idea you could be like me. There's only one Salacious Rum, and he's the only one, and he's the only one. He's truly lonely. He's truly lonely. Why do you still feel like you can be like me? Gaining